What's up, cuties? This is FUMI Abe here to let you know that I'm doing a stand-up comedy show in Hollywood at the Virgil on Tuesday, May 2nd at 8 p.m. I would love to see you there. It would mean the world to me. So please get tickets at fumiabe.com or the episode description below. Thank you.
Welcome to Cash Cuties, a super personal finance podcast where we analyze our friends' credit card statements and judge their spending habits with love. I'm your host, FUMI Abe.
And I'm Steffie Baik. And if you're listening on your Apple Pod app, please leave us a review, hit follow on Spotify, and sub to our YouTube channel for the video version of this podcast. All the links are available in the episode description below.
Yay! Moving on to our Dono Daddies. These are people who give us a donation on the best website on the world, patreon.com/CashCuties. Pod, and these are people who help us run this operation, man. So This week we have Christina L, who gave us $7.50 from Canada.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We only have her right now because we've literally done what is this, 2 or 3 episodes?
We've done 3 episodes
week?
in 1 week. You're like, no, people are giving us money continuously.
No, they love us.
But if you give us a donation, we give you a shout out on the podcast. So please consider going to patreon.com/CashCuties.
And why do we need these? Why do we need this money?
Because we've got expenses. Okay.
Let them know why.
We got hosting services. We got to pay for this tech stuff. Sometimes gas. You know what I'm saying? Steffie comes to my place. We go to her place. Also, it'd be nice to get to a point. Well, A, it'd be nice to get to a point if we can do this full time. Mm-hmm. But B, it'd be nice to get to a point where making enough that we could rent a studio or get cute things or pay for a producer. We have 2 people helping us right now. Shout out to Domagoj from Croatia and Matthias. I don't know where he's from, Matthias, but they help us with video editing and mastering the audio.
They're amazing.
And we're not paying them. I mean, I Venmoed them $50 recently because I felt bad.
Yeah.
But we're not really paying them.
No.
And this money will go to them.
They're awesome.
Please consider giving us money at patreon.com.
We want some vases. We want some nice little vases. We could put little flowers.
I love how I'm explaining technical shit and you're like, we like some plants. We like some pothos.
Hey, I let you deal with the tech stuff and I'm here making things cute. Vibes.
You're the senior vibe consultant of this podcast.
Yeah, we want to have fun. So yes. Anyways, thank you so much, guys, for sending us money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So FUMI, tell me how you are doing financially this week.
This is kind of a weird one, and I thought about not talking about this because I know that one of the biggest concerns on this podcast is not to scare away white people. Okay, white people, if you're listening, we love you. Okay, we need you. Okay, I had a realization. I've always known this, but it was I was reminded of this yesterday about the finances of being Asian in this country.
Yeah.
I was doing a show in San Diego.
Yeah. And
this girl came. I don't know if she's a fan from the podcast or from my Instagram, but she was like, "Oh, I saw your stuff on Instagram and I loved your stuff." And I was like, "Oh, thanks so much for coming." And she's like, "Yeah, I just saw you pop up my Explore page." And I was like, "Oh, Asian American comedian. I want to check it out." And when she said that, I realized that's how a lot of people in life operate. I think especially with comedy, they're looking for someone to relate to. Mm-hmm. And before I open my mouth, what they see is my face and my Asian hair and my face. Yeah. And they go, "Oh, I know someone like that in my life.
It's me."
He's like, he's probably going to talk about something I give a shit about. Right? Yeah. And so she gave me a chance. She looked at my shit and she's like, "I like you."
Cool.
She liked me enough to pay to come see me live. Right.
Yeah, that's dope.
And I was just thinking about how, there's a lot of, and I'm not shit talking here, but there's a lot of podcasts out there where it's 2 white girls talking about dating. And I listen to it. I'm like, I don't know. It's okay. It's pretty whatever basic shit or whatever, But I think a lot of white women in this country listen to it and they go, "That's so relatable." Yeah. Oh, that's so relatable. Yeah. There's a reason why there's what betches is? Betches?
Bitches with an E?
Yeah.
But what is that?
Do you know what that is? No. Maybe it's a New York thing. It's an internet media company that makes content for young women.
Oh,
in
yes,
the city.
I do know what you're talking
about. And a lot of it's kind of comedy, dating, shit like that. And
but it's mostly white girls that are
it's
run
by white women pretty much. And they're not going to say it's for white women, but yes, their fan base is white. And I was just thinking about how hey, we try real hard to get white people on here. You know what I'm saying? Because they got the money. But it is I guess I was just thinking about oh, I think it is harder if you're not, because Asian people only make up 7% of the population. Mm-hmm. So what I just described, having that effect on somebody, oh, I see your face. This is relatable. Yeah. That's only happening 7% of the time for me. Maybe, because not all Asian people are into comedy. Yeah. Not all Asian people in this country are my age. Yeah. So it's really 2% of the time that's happening. But sometimes I think about like, oh, if I was like a white woman or like
Yeah.
a white man, like just me existing and saying something into the microphone,
Right.
a larger portion of the population goes, oh, I'll give this a chance.
Right,
And
right,
that
right.
affects you financially. I think that's the reason why if you look at the top 100 podcast lists or, shows or whatever in comedy and whatever, you'll notice that it's a lot of white creators.
Do you
know what I'm
wish you were a bit of a white bitch?
No, I wish I could convince them that I'm not scary and that I'm relatable and I could have their money. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't want to be a different ethnicity. I just want their money, and I always try to figure out.
Do you think that movie White Chicks, do you think
Okay,
what
what a
majority?
throwback, by the way. What the fuck? Are you talking about the one?
The movie,
black,
yes.
The
It's
black
like,
guys
they dress up like white chicks.
Yeah.
Do you think that they are, the majority of people who watch that is largely a white group of people because they dressed up like a white? Yeah.
So
like,
you're
do you
saying-
think if we dress
we do whiteface?
we would get more of those people to come to our shows?
We should try next week. Let's put on whiteface and watch our downloads fucking blow the fuck up, dude.
Hey, bitches!
Bitches,
You wanna
my
learn
name is
how to spend
Kevin.
money?
This is Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Stephanie Wellington. I
This
am
is Fumiana.
Fumiana.
Wait, is that even a
I'm
white-
half Hawaiian, half white. So exotic in the friendly way.
Yeah.
Anyways, I was just thinking about that.
That's
I don't have a point to
interesting.
make, but I'm just like, damn,
Yeah.
like it is harder. I think, and
It's harder, but it's also, don't we love the struggle? It's so
I don't know. I think I did
fun.
like it when I was younger, but now I'm like old and
Well,
tired. But
yeah, let's still think that one person who, they
Who
saw
came through.
something in you
Yeah.
and came all the way from wherever the hell.
to come see me. So thank
Yeah.
you. I don't know. I forgot your name, but thank you for coming. And if there are any white people listening, thank you. Tell your white friends.
Tell your white friends we need some
Yeah.
white people
I don't
money.
even think.
and
See, I don't even think we're talking about things that are only relatable to Asians. That's my thing. I feel like we're talking about things that are very universal.
money is relatable to everyone.
I know.
I think more so than Asian. I think it's like any immigrant can listen
Yeah.
to this and really understand.
And I want to
like,
make it clear. I'm not being like, oh, I wish I was white. I want white. I just want money. That's really what it is. I'm a piece of shit. But it's not.
You
It's not
want
like
white
I
money.
think that they're better than whatever. I just want their money. So, anyways,
okay.
that's my
well,
thing.
he's made it loud and clear. So this is a call to all you white people.
Ashley's out there. All the Ashley
Ashleys
R's, Ashley
and the-
W's,
and the
Ashley T's.
Christophers.
What's good? Anyways, how are you doing financially, Steffi?
I'm still not like I had a hold on I have no idea what's happening. I was on hold this week for 2 jobs. They didn't really go through,
so
but
we weren't gonna record today because you almost had a job.
Yeah, I know.
And I got sad for you when you told me it got canceled.
oh, thank you
that's
so
fucking
much.
money, man.
Yeah, I know, but
think it's fucked.
I don't necessarily think it's me. I think something's happening with like people are canceling the jobs. So I don't know what's happening there, but
Do
anyways,
they ever give you an explanation when they cancel?
no. Sometimes,
are you
but
being
typically it's
canceled,
just
or is the job getting
no, the
canceled?
jobs are
Oh, I
getting
see, I
canceled.
see.
So like, but it still sucks because you are on hold the week of,
Sure,
and then
yeah.
you're like,
Not
oh
booking other
well.
things.
But it still hurts me because it makes me feel like I did something wrong for
Right.
some reason.
Oh, yeah.
Then because you don't really know exactly. Sometimes they'll just be like, oh, the job got canceled, or they didn't book you. This time it was because the jobs got canceled. But I'm like, why now? Now I don't have
Yeah.
any money to like live off of, really. Well, then I'm still in that same mentality. Like last week, what I was saying is I start returning shit.
For Trader
well,
Joe's.
so yeah. So finally, what I did is I returned the medjool dates that Jason, Jason
You really
gifted.
returned those
I
dates?
returned the dates.
Oh my God.
I also returned my kosher spicy pickles from there because it's super spicy.
Yeah.
I did not have the receipts, but I still got cash for
They
it.
give you cash?
I got $11.27 back, and
This
I'm
is
very
incredible,
proud
and
of
I
that.
feel like we are gonna cause some sort of scam to happen in the future with Trader Joe's. Like you could just
Really?
bring. Actually, I was inspired by your story, and I
Yeah.
went to my pantry after I left your house, and I was
Yeah.
trying to looking through.
Did you find
But
anything
no,
that
we've
you
been
want
buying
to
a lot of
return?
stuff from Whole Foods recently because
Yeah.
it's closer.
Yeah.
So I don't have any Trader Joe's stuff, but I did find like a little cake, like a frozen cake in the
Yeah.
freezer,
Yeah.
and I thought about returning it. But I think next time I go to a party, I'm
Yeah.
gonna steal a bunch of Trader Joe's goods from people's pantries and return them.
Dude,
Now I know
I was
that you can get
surprised the cash. Dude, it's kind
I
of
thought, 'cause
insane.
store credit, I understand.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
But cash?
Bro, I don't know.
That's
I
a scam, bro.
This other thing I did with Sephora, which is weird, is I'll return, but it's been past the 30 days.
Yeah.
So it's been like 2 months, but I'll still return the thing, right? I returned a piece of like concealer. Then I got a gift card. I got the gift card. I bought something else with the gift card. Then recently I returned the thing that was on the gift card, and
Okay.
they offered me cash back.
Oh, so you almost got, it's like you got money for the gift card kind of.
But I don't understand how that's even fair when they didn't even want to give me the cash in the first place from that.
Right.
So I don't really know what that's all. I wasn't trying to scam
Dude.
them, but it is kind of scammy feeling. And
You're like accidentally scamming companies. You know
I'm
that?
getting cash. I don't know, man.
Dude, you're the
So,
return
but-
queen.
But anyways, Sephora is one of my like top places I spend. I spend so much money there, and at Trader Joe's. So in the end, it does go back to their little
Yeah.
pockets. So anyways,
You're like, please don't arrest me. All right. Cool.
Anyways, I want to introduce a very special guest, a very friendly, dear friend.
Okay,
friendly,
a very
dear,
friend.
friendly, dear friend of mine. That sounded really weird.
Do you even know
I've
this
known
guy?
I've
A
known
very
him
friend.
he's actually one of my closer LA friends, and
Okay.
I haven't known him very long, but the amount of time I've known you, it's always so fun. And we're all, anyways, let me introduce you. He is a tech consultant, tech recruiter, business owner, and a huge foodie, and that's how we've kind of like become friends. Let me introduce you to Joe Cheung.
Yay!
Is that how you
Joe.
pronounce Cheung? Because it's
Cheung.
spelled Cheung?
Cheung.
Cheung.
Cheung, okay.
Cheung.
Okay. And that's Vietnamese?
No, it's
No.
actually Chinese.
Oh, okay.
You're half, right?
My mother is Vietnamese.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Cool. Well, we kind of want to go into we got your finances. We want to go into your background a bit, and so let's go into the history of Joe Cheung, especially with money. Where did you grow up?
Seattle, Washington.
Okay,
The suburbs of.
the suburbs. And was it what kind of class do you feel like you were in?
Pretty affluent, actually.
Oh,
It was like-
really?
Yeah, it was pretty
Oh.
affluent, like neighborhoods and stuff.
Whoa. What did your
Okay.
Yeah, like Bellevue, Mercer Island. If people are from Seattle, they know those neighborhoods pretty well.
what did your parents do?
Both my parents, well, my dad originally he worked for the Hong Kong Shanghai Bank, but when we were living in Seattle, he was no longer doing that. But my mother, being a good immigrant Vietnamese woman, was a very strong entrepreneur.
Okay.
So she was doing crazy, like, so my relationship with money is very interesting. I grew up with, if you know the history of Vietnam, the South Vietnamese were basically lost the war. So if you're, my family was associated with sort of the upper class, military, government, whatever. So they were put in re-education camps. And so she escaped on a boat with my older sister and came to the United States. And then she figured out ways of making it here, just like a lot of other immigrants. And one of the, she had, originally she had like a gift store. And what I learned later was, yes, she sold gifts and all this sort of stuff, but the way she really made her money was sending money back to Vietnam. And at the time, it's a communist country. So this is like circa 80s, 90s, right? So
Okay.
it's like you're not allowed to send money to like communist countries.
I don't know
or
that.
there's a certain limit or whatever.
Okay.
But she was smuggling back hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
And the way she would smuggle these things back were either on flights on her body and stuff like that, or like in jars, canned food, or they get bicycles. And I remember my dad would be cutting them in half. They'd be shoving $100 bills
In
inside.
bicycles?
Bicycles. And then re-welding them and then repainting them and then shipping them there. And then my cousin in Vietnam was telling me, because, we're older now, we're talking about, because he was living there. He's like, yeah, we get these bikes from the States and we cut them in half and pull money out of them. It wasn't crazy.
Wait, did you know this was happening as a kid?
As a kid, I saw stuff happening, but I didn't realize what it was until I was older.
Right. Question: Is your mom making money because she's smuggling on behalf of other people?
Yes.
Okay, I was gonna. Okay,
Yes, yes,
it's
yes,
not
yes,
just
yes.
family money. Gotcha.
So there's some of that, and then
So-
obviously, like, she was.
She was like Western Union vibes.
She takes her cut.
Yeah.
What was the cut? Do you know how much?
I
It's
have
like,
no idea.
That's fucking badass,
But
man.
to the point where you might be able to even look it up. She was like on the cover of like the Seattle PI or the Seattle Times because she got caught with like over $100,000 in cash on her body as she was smuggling out of the United States.
Oh shit!
Yeah, it's crazy.
you found out? Did you
No, I
see
didn't
that
read the
article?
paper.
In the
But
Sunday
you
paper.
saw it.
This is public like information.
I
But see, again,
know.
I was like really young, so I didn't really understand like how hardcore that is.
Right. Did your community look down upon that because you are living among the affluent? Like, oh, we have a criminal.
Because remember, this is pre-internet days, right?
Oh, so this you can't really
There's no
find out.
connection.
Wow. They're just like, oh, some Asian lady.
Yeah, some Asian lady got caught like smuggling money to communists.
What did you think
Oh,
about
shit.
this at that time?
I had no thoughts about it.
Zero
Because I
thoughts
was
of-
like, what, 7, 8, 9, 10?
Right,
I was
right.
more concerned about what Nintendo game I was going to
Sure.
get next month. you know?
Okay, do you feel like that, knowing that at some point you've realized what was happening, do you think that affected how you view money?
I think so. Well, I think a lot of different Asian American communities can relate to this, especially Koreans, because they more recently had a war as well. So people leaving the country with the war. all the great things that we had financially when I was a kid, it was always very much reminded that it could all disappear tomorrow. Because literally she like, went on a boat with nothing. Right. And then, here we are running into some like reasonably good fortune, being able to buy nice things. But she made it very clear, and created sort of this survival instinct in us that it could all disappear tomorrow. So did you, I think that's kind of how I think all the time.
Yeah.
Right,
did you feel like you understood the value of money at that age, or like did you see wealth around? Like obviously you were in an affluent area. Were you also like part of that experience of like getting whatever you wanted?
Yeah, were you taking like fencing lessons and shit?
No. What was it?
I don't know what rich kids do.
As a kid, I didn't take any lessons. I didn't learn anything. Well, I played the cello for a little bit, but that was like through school, but nothing private. My parents didn't really force me to do any of that, like typical Asian, like piano and stuff. I wasn't really into that. But like to go back to your question about like, how do I think about money? I guess I always kind of viewed it as easy come, easy go.
Wow.
And I think with that mentality, it's just like, okay, like I want to maintain this lifestyle. So I'm going to live this lifestyle. Now I got to figure out how to pay for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's, I think that there's a forcing function
Yeah.
into, some of the choices I've made in my career, in my life.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is something I struggle with personally, because I have the same mentality where like I do think I could get hit by a bus tomorrow, get cancer or whatever, and just all my money's gone. And I think for a long time,
Now you'd be dead, so it doesn't matter if your money's gone or not.
yeah, or like I guess what I mean by that is like I'd be in a situation where it's like now I owe $200,000 for my chemo, right?
Company.
Yeah, but see, I don't think like that. In my mind, I'm like, now I got to pay for this bus that I broke. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But because of that, I never like, I just had a bunch of money sitting in my checking account for like forever. I just watching it go up. And it wasn't until I was in my like mid 20s where like my coworkers who are white were like, you're losing money. Like, don't you want to invest? And I was so scared. I had some investment. I was so scared to put like 40, 50,000 away in something. I was like,
so
you know what I mean?
I have a point to that. Like I do that still today.
You mean you're scared to?
I'm scared.
Yes.
To the point. Okay, here to this point, and it's so stupid. It makes no financial sense. So this is probably one of the dumbest financial decisions I make. So since we're talking about money, so I've literally been doing my taxes because they're due next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I can file for an extension, but I really don't want to do it. Anyways, I'm sitting here and I all the money, because this last year I did 100% all consulting. So I just kept putting that money into my corporate checking account basically. I didn't bother paying the
quarterly taxes.
Yeah. I just felt like I needed to hold on to it, but it's stupid because
you owe so much
it's sitting in my bank account, like collecting whatever 1%, nominal amount of interest. The reality is I should have just paid it, had that money sit with the IRS instead, and not get the penalties.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm so hard, like, oh shit, can hit the fan tomorrow, and glad I can just go to the bank and pull out all this money if I need to, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so you like seeing it kind of add up and stay
but
there.
You're okay with paying the penalty for
Yes.
not right. That's
is exactly
the thing
Jason
that
did.
Our friend Jason was on last week. Same thing. He has.
was that the drug dealer guy?
Well, he's a stand-up comedian. That's his first thing.
Oh, okay. No, it's the drug dealer guy, right? Like,
he just he's never had money before, and so now he's making a lot of money because he's like a popular stand-up comedian, but he doesn't want to pay off his debt because he likes seeing the money go up on his account.
No.
And I get that.
And the thing is, I can pay it all. It's just. It feels good to see those zeros.
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
It's weird. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
So what was your first job ever?
The first time I had made real money as a kid, I was 13 years old. I scalped tickets.
Dude, for like concerts?
Yeah. Because I grew up in Seattle.
I saw that in your resume at the bottom. That was your first.
He sent us a resume, by the way.
Yeah, he did, and it's like literally 8 pages long.
Is this a comedy resume? It's like 6 pages.
It's so funny you wrote the scalping down there.
Yeah. No, it was a legit job. I made a lot of money as a kid.
No, but
not as much as your drug dealer friend though. That was crazy.
But like, to be honest, if I was like recruiting somebody or if I was like hiring someone, seeing that at a young age, I'd be like, this guy understands that he was hustling since he was a kid.
Depends on the job, I think.
No, I personally would.
Yeah, but like a government job would look down upon that, I think.
Well,
You know
he's not getting a government
like
job.
a sales job is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that go down, and why did you get into that?
So now you get the sense of my age. So I grew up in Seattle in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Sub Pop,
right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so this is pre-internet. So when you wanted to get tickets back then, you actually had to just wake up in the morning and stand in line at Ticketmaster, like at their outlets. And I found out that there's where I lived, they had a really small Ticketmaster window in this town at the time called Mercer Island. It's still called Mercer Island, but it's gotten a lot more popular. But back then, not as many people lived there. And they had one Ticketmaster window, and so I'd always stay there at 8 a.m. and wait that morning for whatever concert. And so I'd buy extra. My parents gave me capital to do it, and then I bought some extra, and then they bought me a answering machine. And then what I would do is that back in the day before Craigslist, you just get a one-liner in the classified ads in the newspaper. It's like $10 or $5. I don't remember what it was. And I'd be like, my first concert that I made money off, I think it was like a Soundgarden concert. And it was
Wait, that's a huge band.
Yeah, but back then it was pretty big, but like,
They weren't doing like stadiums.
they were doing 5,000 seat.
Okay.
Yeah, but not like, they weren't doing like 100,000 or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Is this illegal?
I was going to ask you about that later.
Where I lived, so within the state of Washington, certain counties or certain cities, it's legal and some are not.
Okay.
Mercer Island, where I lived, happened to be legal.
You looked that up as a 13-year-old boy?
No, I didn't know, didn't care, because what are they going to do? Arrest me? But
Right.
I found out later.
So you just got lucky, kind of.
I got lucky, but even if it's illegal, what's a cop gonna do?
Yeah, they'd be
bust
like
some like 13-year-old kid for making like $50 on a Soundgarden.
Yeah.
I wasn't really worried about it. Nor were my parents.
Yeah.
Your parents actually helped you. They invested
Yeah,
in
they
helped you
have
invest.
this, like they would call, leave messages on the answering machine. I call them back and say I have them, and I'll meet you at the McDonald's at this like intersection.
Yeah.
My dad would drive me there.
Yeah.
Make sure I
it's
didn't get my
safe.
feet up.
Yeah.
And then I would give them tickets, I get cash. And then so I always had like at the time, this is like in the 90s, I always had at least like a couple $100 in my wallet.
What was your markup?
Usually double.
Oh, that's great. Because you would buy bands that you knew would sell out.
Well, I bought bands I knew I wanted to see.
Oh, okay.
Right. I could have made more if I started buying other shows, but
Yeah.
it was more to pay for buying CDs because this is pre-internet.
Yeah.
And I still have my collection of CDs actually, and then to buy concert tickets.
Wow.
To go to all the shows for free.
You are a little entrepreneur.
I love that.
And your parents kind of like guided you.
made
They were
it
okay
made
with
them proud actually. It was like a proud Asian moment.
It was your idea or their idea?
My idea.
You just were buying tickets to a band you wanted to see one day, and you're like, oh, what if I bought more?
Yeah, and I could just make money and go for free.
And they didn't take any of your money, right?
No, they didn't take any of my money.
Oh, okay. Wow. This is really cool. So, I mean, I think the fact that you saw your parents doing something not similar, but it's kind of like out of the regular.
Yeah, like do what it takes.
Yeah. You kind of like followed along suit, it seems like.
And I think it's just hardwired.
Yeah.
I mean, because at this point, you're still 13. You probably didn't understand exactly what smuggling money meant or whatever.
No, the thing is, I saw these activities happening. I didn't know what was actually happening.
Right.
I didn't know until I was told much later in life.
Yeah.
Like in my
Wow,
20s.
that's amazing. Okay. Hello, my sweet employed and unemployed cuties.
Ever been injured at work? Ever struggled to take a lunch break without being judged? Ever wrongfully terminated?
If you have answered yes or no of anyone who has, consider contacting your Korean lawyer friend, Brianna Kim, at KoreanLawyerFriend.com or at 714-482-6301.
Your Korean lawyer friend will protect and seek enforcement of your rights as an employee.
Has a manager ever asked you to run personal errands beyond your job responsibilities? Have you ever been let go unfairly because your boss is retaliating against you for personal reasons like sexual orientation or lifestyle?
You should be compensated for all of the above because you and your time are valuable. I remember when I worked in the music industry back in the late 2000s, I had like an admin job and I felt like my boss was using me as her personal assistant on and off the clock, and I wasn't really sure how to bring it up. And I wish I knew that there was somebody I could call because at the time I didn't know that I had rights.
I remember a manager once told me to wear makeup because I didn't look old enough for the office. I remember feeling so embarrassed and started questioning whether my age actually affected my work abilities. Brianna Kim works on contingency, which means her services are free until she settles the case. So you have nothing to lose.
Contact Brianna Kim PC today at KoreanLawyerFriend.com for a free consultation by mentioning our podcast, Cash Cuties.
Okay, let's get into a little bit about you're in the tech industry. You're
Yes.
You're a tech recruiter. Is that the correct term for what you do?
I mean, that's where I make primarily most of my income is the recruiting part.
Okay, so how did you get into that, and what does it take to be a tech recruiter?
I got recruited to be a recruiter. Super meta, right? I was a sales guy doing like a lot of cold calls. So again, this is before like email campaigning was a thing. So in the beginning with sales and recruiting, you on average I would make 100 to 120 cold calls, like dial outs per day. Hopefully get 10 connects and talk time of the day for 10 to 20 minutes. And that's how you would get your leads and generate stuff.
So was
right?
this like commission? You were getting commissions?
Yeah, my first recruiting job when I got recruited, it was 100% commission. So what they would do is the first 3 months, they give you what's called a unrecoverable draw, which is $3,000 a month to pay for your expenses. This is living in San Francisco. So $3,000 a month minus taxes was
Nothing.
Nothing. You can't
Nothing.
Like, it was really difficult.
Yeah.
And then what happens is after 3 months, they'll keep paying you that $3,000, but you got to pay it back.
Okay.
And then the way you make your money is you make your placements. So when you place a person, you get anywhere from 20 to 30% of their base salary as like the fee. So at the time, this was like 17 years ago, a good engineer was making like 120, 130. So let's say 20% of that is like $26,000. The company that I worked for would take about 70% of it, and then I get 30%. But after I got into my rhythm, I was probably doing like on average 1.5 placements a month.
Yeah.
Some guys didn't make any placements for the first 6 months, so they started getting into debt.
So now they're owing money. Wait,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is this business practice like still going on today? Is it
No, it doesn't
legal?
happen
Because
anymore.
this sounds extremely abusive.
It doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't happen anymore. And then also a lot of those guys got their, it made me really pissed off, but all those guys got their draws were like basically forgiven. And so they didn't have to pay it back.
Is that a law thing? Like,
It's not a law thing. I think the company wanted to keep them because after 6 months they started being productive.
Oh, I see.
And they
I
didn't
see,
want
I
them
see.
to just completely be in a hole all the time.
Right.
So,
Oh,
so
that's
were
crazy.
you doing, was there like training and was there a script? Because like I come from real estate where I was part of a brokerage and I would pay a sales person, like I would a mentor, $1,000 a month to teach me how to be a better cold caller. And so there were scripts I memorized, and I would call, door knock, and I would hit 300 doors a day
That's even harder, man.
to even talk to about 10 people. That's when I knew the day was done. There was no 9 to 5. It was 100% again commission, same thing, right? So I did that for almost 5 years.
$1,000 a month. You pay somebody for 5 years?
Yeah, because you know what it is with sales jobs? There's no one pushing you to do the job. It's like we're our own bosses, but like I didn't know how to be a boss. Like I didn't know how to like schedule shit. I'm all over the place. So I would basically pay this person to keep me accountable so I would wake up in the morning.
Interesting. Be honest. Do you think this person was a scam or was he actually helpful?
No, it absolutely helped.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, I had like no money without having someone, because like it's like as if if you have a boss at a regular salary job, you would like have to go into the office at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
If you're just basically like sales it's so weird because the motivation has to be like strong.
Right, and it has to be so strong that it's like you owe money if you don't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that when you were out in Silicon Valley that you were partying with a lot of wealthy tech people. What is the wildest thing you've seen them spend money on?
I think it's private jets.
Wait, just like regular engineers and shit?
Oh, regular engineers.
Sorry, were you referring to? Like, are you hanging out with fucking Jack Dorsey or you know what I mean? Like
billionaires.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know that.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's around a lot of billionaires.
Yeah.
I've worked with so Jack's co-founder Evan Williams at a company called Medium. So they founded Twitter together.
Medium, like the blog company?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like an early employee there.
He used to work there. Yeah.
Word.
So I worked with Evan, and I worked with a lot of these folks and seen a lot of these types of people at events. I wouldn't say the parties are crazy, but the biggest thing that these guys spend money on is like it's always like jets usually when they make the billions, because that's the only way you can buy time.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
So it's actually a very good use of money spending because these guys have made so much money they can't spend it in a lifetime. But with a private jet, you can. It's not even a so
they can spend
so
it.
Here's the thing. It's like okay, I think a lot of people, especially like in LA, if they go on a private jet or they have a friend that takes them or like they charter like whatever it is, they're like all over Instagram, like yeah, look at my fucking best life, right? With people that I know in the Silicon Valley that have these things, it's absolutely no social media rule. Never post it. And also even like cars and stuff, like they all drive Teslas and things like that, and they're billionaires, right? Mm-hmm. It's not about being the flash and showing what they got. It's like, how do you save time? How do you be efficient? And so that to them is
dude.
Okay,
That's weird.
That is weird. I have a question based on that. How do you feel? What's the difference in the way money is spent by wealthy people in San Francisco compared to people in LA?
I don't think I've met a truly wealthy person in LA.
Whoa.
Do you think?
Interesting.
Do you think these tech people in SF are making more than like big movie producers in LA? I have no idea. Like,
I don't know what a big movie producer makes in LA.
like what is
no
this
idea.
like a Steven Spielberg versus
okay,
like
that dude is like that's an exception, but okay, so Steven Spielberg is an equivalent to Mark Zuckerberg.
That's true. I mean,
Right? Mark makes more.
But what
So-
about like I don't know what's another director like fucking I don't know, like Seth
Directors-
Rogen. Is Seth Rogen richer or not as rich as like the guy who invented like widgets on Google or what? You know what I mean? Like these people you're working with. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I don't know how much I can look up.
So
how,
like
how
Seth
Seth-
Rogen is, he's like a superstar basically.
But I'm
right?
assuming he makes like a few $100 million. In my head, I don't know if that's
I have
true.
no idea what it is. I would say Seth Rogen's.
His net worth is 80 million.
Yeah,
which
I'd say
doesn't.
it's less than 100, right?
So,
Yeah.
so
Okay,
is that
80
like?
mil.
But you know guys who were.
Yeah,
above
it's like
it.
I worked for a company. We got acquired. The co-founder is someone you've never heard of. I bet you he made well over that amount of money in one transaction.
Yeah, you know what? This
I
makes
think
sense.
tech money's more.
Yes, tech and I remember in New
It's
York.
highly leveraged.
Yes, I remember in New York. I would always do this comedy club next to the West in this West Village. That these beautiful brownstones. And I remember one day I was like, "Who the fuck lives here? Like, what do you have to do this?" And like we were looking up the salary of Aziz Ansari, and he didn't make as much as the guy who actually lived in this brownstone. And that guy, we looked him up, and he's just like a hedge fund guy. And so a lot of times, like we think these stars are making money and all this shit, but
Like,
really,
I can give you an example. Like a fresh college grad, computer science major, Facebook standard offer. At least this was like a few years ago. Is usually the base salary is between 120 to 150 ish, depending if they were returning and $100,000 sign on bonus and stock and free everything.
That's kind of like how much.
That's entry level.
That's how much like I think a doctor would make, or like a surgeon off right after college.
not
Would you
even
say
right
that?
after, but maybe.
I don't know.
I have a legit question for you about that in society. Do you think that I have this theory that because tech pays so much, and a lot of times you don't have to work that much, or the hours aren't crazy like lawyers, that maybe we are losing talent, like smart people, to tech? Like people who 10 years ago would have been a lawyer are now just like, I want to be a fucking product person at Facebook or whatever. And I feel like maybe we're losing smart people that could have been doctors and saving the earth, and now they're just like surfing in Hawaii, working for LinkedIn or whatever. I don't know.
So
it's
my
just a
answer
made up theory.
My
you know?
answer to that is now these people are building technologies where you need fewer people to actually have those jobs.
Mm-hmm. They're building fewer people. We don't need as many lawyers and doctors. What you're saying?
Hey, because what they're doing is they're building tools and technologies that more highly leverage themselves. So now what a doctor could have done, what 10 doctors did before, now 2 doctors can do.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
shit.
Whether it's robots for helping surgery or like reference materials or knowledge or chat GPT to write prescriptions, like whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
They can use those things.
That's a
I have
fucking
a
smart
question.
answer.
Do you
Yes.
know Elizabeth Holmes? And
yeah,
were you
no, dude, she's crazy.
You know,
Yeah,
you met her?
but did you hear about her before she became this?
So this
infamous
was before
person?
I was really into the startup scene. So I've heard of her. I knew the story of Theranos, but it wasn't. She's like one generation of Silicon Valley behind me.
Oh, behind after.
Behind, like yeah. So before my time.
Oh
Yeah.
man, she's kind of cool, crazy.
There's a lot of people like that. That's the
They're
crazy thing.
right. I feel like it'd be a scammy place. Silicon could be very scammy. Like
Okay, so
Yeah, they're like
I
a lot of
have this like mixed
charisma-ridden
feeling
people.
about. I don't know her. I know this story from what is on
Hulu.
whatever, right?
yeah.
that's so good.
And this happens a lot. I think these entrepreneurs, they're ridiculously brilliant, super smart. They see the potential in everything, and they see the way in which to get to that point. And it's almost like, self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like you dream it and you'll believe it. If anything, they've already think that it exists in their minds. It's there because they're just so forward thinking that they're just living in that present and they're making it happen. So I don't think her I don't know. I'm just going to make an assumption. I think there is a possibility in a world where she actually believed this thing was real.
I could see us like. I could see where people believe something so much they want it to be true that it's
And it
like a
becomes real,
reality.
but
I do.
I feel. Don't you know people like that? I feel
Yes.
like even in like comedy, I can name you so many people who are like from day one open mic. You're fucking bombing, but they think they're a star. Literally,
Yeah.
like I'm not making this up. That I did a show with her. She fucking bombed, but I remember her being like, "Okay, cool. Like, how do I become a TV writer?" I remember she said that, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And then and she has her own TV show, and I'm like, "You just fucking like some people just really believe in themselves, and it fucking happens." And I feel like people like us were like, "No, I have to practice for like 10 years, fucking like."
Don't include me in this. I don't want to be
I
part
felt
of
that
this.
way. I started in my 20s. I definitely felt that way. I was like, "No, you got to put in the work." But fucking like that Jiro from that sushi documentary. I got to make fucking rice for 20 years before I
Right.
can touch
Don't
the.
even get into the
You know
Japanese
what I'm
way of
saying?
stuff. The Japanese way of stuff is just really.
It's fucked up. But like, I think a lot of people feel that way. They're like, no, I need certain hours of practice. Malcolm Gladwell, 10,000 hours. They believe in that, but then you meet these people who are like, they legitimately in their brain, they're stars, or they've already invented this thing, and it fucking happens.
Would you
for them,
rather-
for that thing
right.
to become real, they've invested more than 10,000 hours. To be
Yes,
fair,
yes,
right.
100%.
Do you prefer, would you rather be that self-unaware? I can't even say if they're
You can't even
self-unaware,
say-
right?
yeah.
It's almost like they turn off the part that's like rejecting
It's like
themselves.
delusional, but not in like a self-debilitating way.
Right.
You know?
Would you rather be that person though? Or be so in yourself and know yourself so well
Oh,
that
God, if
it's
you know yourself
bringing
too
yourself.
well, you'll go crazy. You can chop your ear off or
I
something.
agree with that in some
Yeah.
ways.
Like Van Gogh, you just gotta
that-
fucking chop that shit off.
But I think it's too.
Yeah.
When you said
Yeah.
earlier.
It's like-
Yeah.
I think it's hardwired. I don't think that you can be. I can't be that. I can never have that mentality.
I think you can do that. I think that because I did sales and you can force yourself to believe something so much that you could turn. Sales taught me anything is that like once you get over the rejection and like what it's doing to me,
Yeah.
like hurting me or like the people hating me, I could get to the next level.
So I don't know if this is where your belief comes from or like where you're confident. My confidence comes from experience and proven data. So right now, like I've been doing comedy almost 10 years and I don't have enough followers that I can like tour, but I know
Why?
that if
Wait, go back to that. You said you don't have enough followers you can tour. Why can't you tour?
well, I can on my own, but like it's a harder sell for me because now people have
Why
like
can't you tag along to someone that's like, you know?
but you lose money that way. You,
Oh,
I mean,
no, but like, I mean, well, I'm going to push back on you here.
Okay.
So, like, I firmly believe you
Yeah.
are the average of the people you spend most time with. So, even if you lose money touring with people that can help you go up, it's like you're investing in yourself.
Sure, yeah, I'm making connections with the clubs, and I started to do a little bit of that, but like, you know, I have touring agents who like can't get me anything because they're like, you don't have enough followers, but I've been doing it for so long that now I truly can be cocky and be like, I know I'm better than you guys and all these people, and I know that I can do this, and so that's why I'm like sort of putting myself out there a little bit more because I truly believe in my product. But that came from 10 years of work, not me doing one show and being like, now I deserve a TV show. You know what I'm saying? So I believe you in that. I think people can get there with that delusion, but mine just comes from like proven track.
Do you
know
need
what I mean?
stats and Excel sheets?
Well,
That's what it is. He needs
No,
to
I-
see the numbers
I
and
mean,
be like,
what do you think about that? The whole idea of the big break, though.
I don't know. I
I
think
believe anything can happen. I truly believe
so
from
the reason-
everything I see in this industry that the most random shit can happen.
No, for
And you
sure.
get in the wrong, or you could literally be in the wrong room. And then you got that chance. Like, and you're just like, what?
And so I guess that leads me back to this whole thing. Like, I'm a firm believer in a lot of action leads to good things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, like, if you just put forth to the universe a shit ton of action, eventually the big break will be there. And
Yeah, I agree.
you're already in that mindset of putting forth action. And
Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
So
yeah.
That's why I ask. I was just kind of curious.
Yeah,
your thoughts.
I guess, but there's also an age element. I don't know if you feel this, but I feel like I'm just so over I mean, I'm too old to be like. I think old as in like I've been doing this too long to be like anything can happen tomorrow. Like I can't think like that. That's not what my value is. Like my value is like I like creating. I like making videos, putting it out, and sharing it with people. And if it does well, that's fucking awesome. If it doesn't, I can't let that make me unhappy because I'm gonna fucking kill myself. You know. So like
Right.
this mentality. Because I used to be like that. I used to be like, I don't know, it could happen tomorrow. I used to talk like that when I was fucking 25, 2 years into comedy. But like I just can't. I don't have the ability to like think like that anymore. And sometimes I think if that's like holding me back or something, you know what I mean? Because
I think to your point though, it's just whatever you believe is the truth is the truth. So if you believe, hey, it takes data, it takes 10 years, it takes you doing the hours, and now you do really believe you're the shit, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. Then that's the truth
That's the truth for me.
for you.
Yeah.
So it will
yeah,
happen
yeah.
for you. It just
Yeah.
will happen now.
Right.
So it doesn't really matter at this
Right.
point.
But
Just
no, but
it's gonna
I think
happen.
life's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like if there's something that you want to achieve in your life and you just like think it long enough, it like
I
happens.
agree because that's what's happened for me because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
A
it
lot
doesn't
of
make
things
sense
that happen for me makes zero sense.
like when I think about like the work that I've been able to do, the companies I've been able to work for, and the people I've been able to meet and work alongside, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big.
Like, you know what I mean?
I'm a big
I
subscriber of
agree.
the fucking what's the simulation theory? You know what I'm
dude,
saying? I'm
me
like,
too,
I
me too,
feel
me
like
too.
somebody's controlling me. He's taking a nap right now, but you know what I'm saying? But like sometimes it's like, what the fuck? I mean, when I first got my first TV writing job, I'm like, you're joking, right? Like, I can't do this. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And now I'm like in
Go
LA.
and
and
test
I'm like,
it out. The guy's like, you should go check it.
Yeah.
Be funny, man. Show us what you got,
I don't
buddy.
Hey cuties, we want to take a quick break from the show and tell you that Steffie and I started a
Patreon. What is Patreon? Patreon is the best way to support us and this podcast. Fans can subscribe to our page for however much money you want to give, and in return, you get rewards and perks.
That's right. We'll be releasing bonus episodes where we answer fan questions and get into more of our chaotic lives.
Yes. Just go to patreon.com/cashcutiespod and help us grow.
That's patreon.com/cashcutiespod. Back to the show.
Yay. So we know, based on knowing you, that you have a affinity for a country.
Yes.
That country being where Fumi's from.
Are you really from there? Is that where you're
Yeah,
from?
I'm from Japan.
Oh, cool,
yeah,
nice.
I'm from
His
Chiba.
name's Fumi.
Well, he could have been born here and named Fumi. I don't know.
No.
That's true. That's true.
No.
Right?
He could be
no,
like
no.
Japanese American.
Yeah.
Does he
No,
seem
no.
Japanese American?
Kind of.
Yeah, I think so.
He's got no accent.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I think when you
Well,
have
you
a
think
Japanese
you
name,
see me like, oh, like that's what you fucking think when you see me? That's what you fucking...
no, it's like my friends who I grew up in a place where it's like predominantly was Japanese
Torrance, yeah,
Americans.
Torrance, right?
Yeah, in
Oh,
Torrance.
yeah.
And so my friends were all Japanese, but like if you had a Japanese name, I knew immediately you're from.
Oh, a lot of Japanese Americans, yeah, they don't do that.
No,
They're
no,
like,
I had-
Dan
I had
Harumi or
Kana,
something.
you know, I had Seida, I had, you know, like a lot, like
yeah.
I knew they're from Japan.
Sure, yeah.
So anyways, but you are, yes, Japanese American.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You had a relationship over there
Yeah,
with
this was a few years ago, yeah.
a few years ago with a person who is a hostess.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us about that a bit.
I'm into that shit, bro.
How did you meet? How did you meet her?
Through friends.
Oh, so you didn't meet her at the club?
Nah, you're not invited to those things as like a foreigner.
You can't go as a foreigner?
No, not these ones.
But I thought you
Oh,
could go
these are
with her.
high-end ones.
Yeah,
This
high-end
is
ones.
Oh,
You can go to like Kabakura and stuff like that, but
Oh,
not...
but I'm sorry. Is this not a Kabakura?
No.
Oh,
no.
what-
This is like Hostess club.
Hostess club? How is that different from Kabakura? I thought it was the same
Kabakura
thing.
is more like it's like a different level, kind of. So
It's cheaper.
Cheaper. But also different kinds of entertainment. So like the girls will like sit with you, sing with you,
They
like,
drink with
party
you.
with you. It's more
Yeah.
like party vibe. It's kind of like I don't know what it compared to.
I've been to that. What's Hostess, bro?
Hostess Club is like usually they're always in really nice neighborhoods like Ginza
Yeah.
or Roppongi.
Yeah.
Usually nearby like really nice office buildings.
Okay.
And it's like just to go there for 90 minutes, usually just to start. Last I checked when I saw like the price sheet was like $300 to $500
for
Just
per
to be there.
hour.
for 90 minutes.
That's
just
not,
to sit.
not including drinks.
Yeah, you have to buy a bottle,
Woo!
right? So then you tag on another $700 plus.
Yeah.
If you want to pick the girl, it's called nomination fee. There's another
Oh, I'm
$100 on
aware.
top of that.
Hell yeah.
And then if you stay longer than 90 minutes, I think every hour is like, I don't know, $150 or something.
Are these businessmen that
Yeah,
are going
it's
to
like
these?
CEOs
yeah,
and shit.
yeah, it's all businessmen doing business transactions.
Wow. I didn't know that. So, like, my experience with Kabakura has only been in New York. There's some on 53rd Street or back in the day.
Like Domi kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, like, I had these, like, Japanese older people who took me when I was younger.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that was my introduction. I've never been in Japan, but I always thought Hostess Bar and Kabakura was the same thing. But I didn't realize the
it's
price
a different
difference.
level. So those,
Okay.
those Kabakura it's just more party.
Yeah.
And they'll just like sit with you and they'll sing karaoke.
Yeah, they let a
whatever.
fucking underage guy in, so.
But at the nice hostess clubs, they're dressed super nice. Like, have you watched that show Tokyo Vice?
Oh, with that white guy?
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah. There's like scenes in there. It's more like it's
I
definitely
don't
more
give a
like it's more like that. So usually it's like super high end. It's all the dudes are wearing their suits and stuff.
Yeah.
The women dress super nice. They're all like super articulate.
And they all speak. They're very like cultured.
No, actually,
a lot of them are cultured, right?
Yeah, they're cultured. They read up on like current affairs and like things like hobbies and stuff. So that way, when they bring, let's say you and I are working out some deal. Let's say we're gonna make a show.
Yeah.
And if we're Japanese, I bring you to this place, and I'm trying to like win your deal or whatever.
Right.
And then I would make sure that there's a certain kind of woman that would be interested, that you'd be interested in, or guy or whatever you're into, and then they would be there pouring our whiskey, lighting our cigarettes, and they would input things about, if you talk about golf, current events, they'll speak.
But they know about that shit.
Yeah. And that's it.
Wow. So did you go to these things before you met your girl?
No.
Did you go after?
I've been inside them, but not. That's a lot of money to spend for that.
It's
kind of
too
stuff.
much. So is the
and also it's like I'm not welcome there. But I've seen inside, where like she worked.
Wow, so it's strictly Japanese.
Oh, it's very racist.
It's not even racist. I think.
Yeah. How do you feel that about how do you feel about that as an American
there was
person?
an episode where there was something mentioned around that stuff, and I'll deal with that later.
If we were at a hostess bar, she could have
I
somebody
think,
open
I
it
think
for
there
her.
was a time. I think there was a time in Japan where that was definitely true, but at least from my anecdotal experience, it's been more along the lines of understanding the cultural norms. Mm-hmm. And most foreigners don't.
Right.
So they'd rather not take the chances. Like there might be the one outlier foreigner that understands the cultural norms for that situation.
Right.
And the language. But for every one, there's like 10 that do not.
Right.
So they'd rather just not take anybody.
Yeah, they always say that, but I always feel bad for because people will say that about, at hostess clubs or sort of things in that space of like prostitution and stuff. I guess I understand because it could be dangerous for the women, but when that shit happens with I've seen it happen like restaurants and they use the same excuse, and I'm like, okay, come on, like you know what I mean? They're not gonna be dancing around like it's a fucking restaurant.
Wait,
like,
can you hire them to be like I only know like Tomies, right? Tomies, you're not. Those are the girls in Koreatown, or I don't know. I don't know about the one in Korea, but the ones here, it's a service. You have girls kind of hang out with you, serve you alcohol, speak to you, have conversation. There's not supposed to be like a sexual sex element, but I know it happens. Like you can still if someone just vibes with you, you can
I think it happens after.
Sure. So the super high end hostess clubs in Japan, the whole point is you're unobtainable. So if someone found out you've been obtained, typically you're asked to leave. It's very much frowned upon.
But you attained it.
No, but I'm not.
But you're not a customer. You're not a customer. She just met in the private life. Yeah.
Private life and professional life is different.
Right. No, that makes sense because as soon as you fuck them, they're not going to come again, and you lose a customer.
Right.
So that makes sense. That makes sense.
And the whole point is if they think they can go there and have you as their girlfriend, and have those relationships with you. And it's possible, and it's happened already. It takes away sort of from what I understand is it takes away some of the prestige. Of that
so what is happening? So are they acting So are men hitting on them in a way?
They do.
And then you have to be
get drunk and they'll touch their leg and stuff. But
you have to be no.
That's about the limit of it.
Oh,
you like that?
Do I like it?
You could do that.
You'd be so good at it.
You'd be so
what
good.
What the fuck?
That's not an insult. My friend said that at NYU. My Japanese friend said that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be good at being
back
hard.
when they were 19.
I'd be good at being hard to get. You mean?
You'd just be good at. You'd be a good hostess.
Yeah, you'd be fun.
Oh, that might be a really mean thing to say.
It's basically modern.
I can't tell if this is a good thing or a bad thing.
No. It's modern day geisha, right? That's all it is.
Is this considered sex work? I have no idea.
No,
it's fine.
It's related, but
it's minor league.
Yeah,
I think.
Do you think you'd make a good this person?
A host?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they have guy versions.
Oh yeah, my buddy is one of the first guy gene.
Wait,
really?
I want to do that so bad. I want to experience paying a man.
Do you think we should do
of...
that as Patreon? If you or an event where you get to go on a date with us.
Oh, I would love to do that.
Oh my god! But yeah, if you go on a date with Steffi, you have to pay for her. But if you go with me, I guess I'll pay for you with your Patreon.
They use gift cards, right?
Gift cards. Let's get back to this. So you had a long distance. You had a girlfriend in Japan.
Yeah.
Walk us through what are the expenses of maintaining a long distance relationship for somebody who lives halfway around the globe?
A lot of plane tickets.
A lot
of plane tickets. That would be the biggest one. Plane tickets.
Well, she told me you also owned a house in Japan.
No, I didn't own a house.
He had an apartment.
Gotcha.
So you helped pay. What does that mean?
We split it.
Oh, so you split an apartment there.
I would pay I would pay for the rent, part of the rent. Sometimes.
Do you feel like the fact that she worked in this industry made it so that you had to pay for certain things more or less than if it was somebody that wasn't in that industry?
There were definitely times where we would go to Hakone or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And she'd pay for it.
Okay.
Right, she wanted to
treat you.
Yeah. But day to day, I think when we first started dating, I felt like I was paying the same amount that I would be paying dating anyone else.
Interesting. I wanted to ask you about that because I've never dated anybody from outside America. So in America, we always talk about who pays first date, who pay. What is that norm like in Japan? Do you know?
Good question.
I don't know if you dated other Japanese girls or
No,
with her.
It's funny. My other girlfriend that I was like, she was based at Hong Kong.
Okay.
I felt like, well, and both of them are pretty independent thinking. So it was not really a fair example of the norm. The norm expects, from what I've observed from their friends, that the guy pays all the time. But I felt like both of the women that I dated from overseas were pretty good about paying sort of at the level that they were at versus where I was at. And,
Okay.
and it also depends. If I pick something expensive, obviously I'm going to pay.
Right.
So, I actually feel like in LA, when I've dated here, it's definitely a lot more like you're paying for everything.
I heard somebody make a joke about Japanese dating and how Japanese women are really particular, and they were like, no sex until you take me to Disneyland or something like that. Have you heard
I've
that?
never heard anything like that.
No sex until you take me to Disney Sea.
I've never heard anything like that.
Somebody was talking about that.
I mean,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
are these girls like 18 or something?
I
Like,
don't know about adult Japanese women like love that shit. I feel like some people love Disneyland.
The women that I know in Japan or interacted with, like you know, socially, they don't care for Disneyland.
Yeah.
But to be fair, my
I might be talking about like
my
basic
sample
girls.
size,
Yeah.
my sample size of Japanese friends in Japan, vast majority expats.
Oh well, that's not.
That's
right.
different.
That's not Japanese.
Whether they're expats from like other Asian countries or whatever, or if they're Japanese, they're so Western minded that they're an outlier within the country.
Sure.
How much was this apartment you were splitting, and where were you live? What area was this?
It was in Azabujuman. It's like kind of near Roppongi, and it wasn't that expensive.
Dude, Roppongi is fucking nice, dude.
Yeah, but it's nearby. But it wasn't that big, and it wasn't that expensive. I want to say at the time it was like $1,400 a month.
For your side of it?
No,
so it was
the
like,
whole thing.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is
Oh,
real
but this
estate
was
in
like 5 years ago or something,
No,
right?
this
or
was
four.
like 8 years ago.
Oh,
How
so
is
then-
real estate in a different country like Tokyo or whatever? Like, is it comparable to LA or is it cheaper? You just get like way less space.
You know, because they do it per square meter, so it's difficult to convert. I mean, I guess you could, but it depends. So in Tokyo, it's really expensive. So like anything big, like 2-bedroom, like let's say about 1,000 square feet, it's comparable to LA, maybe a little bit more.
Okay.
But it's like it depends on the building and what
Right.
part within Tokyo.
Gotcha.
Once you start getting outside of like Minatoku, it's like it gets a lot cheaper. And once you leave the city, it's dirt cheap.
Word.
And you can buy whole houses for like $100,000 because there, I don't know if you're familiar with the idea that like if a house is a certain age, they just tear it down and it actually loses value over time.
Yes, my dad was saying that because my grandparents own a home and she doesn't live there anymore because she went to a retirement home.
Yeah.
And I was like, why don't you just sell the house? And he was like, well, in Japan, like our houses don't really gain value the same way it does in America. And I didn't really understand what he meant by that. But yeah, he was like going to tear it down or whatever.
They tear it down because the Japanese don't like old things.
See, this is such an interesting point. Used car in Japan are so cheap.
Yeah, so cheap. They don't
Like how
They
much?
don't like used shit. But in America, it's so expensive. I remember when I was in high school, I was buying a fucking Volkswagen Golf. It had like 30,000 miles on it for $5,000. And they're like, dude, you can get whatever the fuck you want for 5,000 USD in Japan if it was used.
I think
anything, all cool shit.
Yeah.
Is it because like I know my parents and like my grandparents are against like used clothes, used anything because they believe that there's like negative spirits in it. Like so it's some sort of like spirit thing, like it's holding on to the last owner's spirits.
I don't know about that. I assumed, I don't have the answer, but I assumed it's just like, as a culture, we just like new sparkly things. You know?
They want it like perfect.
Yeah. We like
But you know
perfection.
what? No, in Japan, I just I went this year. The vintage is
scene,
crazy
that's a great point. That's a good
out
point.
there.
So that's new generation.
Koenji is the new spot. Have you guys been there?
Williamsburg?
That's like the cool like Koenji.
Or like Shima Kitazawa.
Yeah,
Well, she
that
was
place is
saying-
dope too. But
Yeah,
Koenji is
yeah.
like the
That's the
new
new one?
version
Oh,
of the Shimo.
yeah.
But it's like it's where all like and the crazy thing about their vintage clothes is they buy it all in America.
Yeah,
like
I've been inside. I asked them where they source it from. They're like, put it in the again. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, like Second Street. All those companies, they're from
Yeah.
Japan, but they open them up here. They go to Oregon or anywhere in California. They buy bundles of vintage and they take it back and they resell
Whoa.
it. So it's like when I go there, I end up buying all these American pieces of
For
clothing.
way more money.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Okay, so in this segment, we are analyzing our friends' finances, and he sent us.
Are they going to see this part too?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We're editing it.
He
in.
sent us 3 to 6 months of his finances. I've only analyzed the last 3.5 months from the beginning of this year.
Is this the Amex one?
And it's both. It's everything.
Okay.
The finances of Joe Cheung. Joe is a tech recruit expert from San Francisco and moved to LA during the pandemic. This has allowed him to have a lot of me time, and he has been busy working on his hobbies, from fixing up cars to playing video games to enjoying all forms of culinary delights in Los Angeles.
Wait, can I just say something?
What?
I love your slides because you don't come from a corporate background, so all your PowerPoints, I realize they're kind of like picture books.
It's like a child's book.
Yeah, it's like
book.
because mine are like very like, oh, you're gonna pitch me on a product, and you're just like, you're trying to put me to bed from the story time, like mommy vibes. You know what I'm saying? I love that.
Really?
Okay, please
See,
continue.
I have no idea. Like, because you both like come from a world where you're used to
But
presentations.
I love this.
Mine's the last presentation I did was like in 5th grade. So this is it. Okay, this is what you get. Okay. And this is me. I'm your
Did you use
financial
AI
mentor.
to make this Simpsons
That's a character from
I love that show.
What is that show called?
Disenchanted.
Disenchanted.
Yeah.
People tell me I look like her. She has freckles like me too.
Yeah.
Anyways, Steffie is an expert in everything. Period. She has 3 extensive months of financial education at the School of Cash Cuties under her belt. She got her BS in financial BS. Yay. Okay, just trust me, like sugarfish. Next. Okay. So what are Joe's hobbies? He loves cars, pizza, gas, and guns.
Doesn't gas and cars kind of go together?
I needed.
You can't just say guns with a cute voice like that.
That's one of his. He likes to go shoot. He has an
Okay.
extensive amount of guns. So let me.
Yeah, walk us through.
So, first of all, this is the amount he has spent on cars. He didn't really know.
Okay, how
In the
much did he
last
spend?
3.5 months, he spent
$6,500.
over $6,500
In the last 3 months, you said?
since January.
Okay, first quarter. Okay,
First quarter. This is all first quarter stuff.
That's a lot. I mean, I'm guessing that's not enough to buy a car. So I'm guessing these are upgrades.
Yeah, but mostly the car stuff. What are you spending your money on?
So my car, I drive and use a lot. So it was approaching 100,000 miles.
Okay.
And so I basically had the whole bottom end rebuilt by these guys down
This guy in Mexico.
No. They're like down in Long Beach area.
Okay.
And that was a very big ticket
Okay,
item.
yeah.
Gas, I know, is part of cars, but I just thought that it was crazy. You're spending $1,380. Yeah,
In 4 months. What
in
is that?
4 months.
What is that?
So my cars average about 9 miles per gallon. Both of them. 9.
What do you drive?
The 4Runner is big, heavy, and it averages 9 miles per gallon. And then the way I drive the Porsche, it averages 9 miles per
Bro,
gallon.
you can't say those MPG numbers around me, bro. I'm a Prius guy. Okay, you almost gave me a heart attack. You kidding me? 9 miles per gallon.
On average, those cars get between 9 and 11 miles per gallon.
Are you okay with that?
I don't commute, so it's like purely entertainment.
Oh, it's for fun.
Yeah.
It's for fun.
Gotcha,
If I was
gotcha,
commuting,
gotcha.
I would have a Tesla.
Sure.
So guns. You just like go shooting a lot. You have multiple guns, right? Tell us the different types of guns you have. You're big.
Oh man, I can't really talk about all of them, but
He's got a bazooka.
I wish.
But they're fun. You like that's
tell
one
us
of your
about your-
hobbies.
tell us about
How
your
often
guns,
do you
man.
go?
Tell us
And
about
how
your
much is it to like a round of like gun shooting when you go?
It kind of depends what kind of shooting we're doing. Like if we're going to the desert just shooting stuff, it's pretty much free. It's just the ammo.
Yeah.
If I go to the range, it's usually like $10-15 a person plus the ammo. So the ammo could be like $50 to $100 a person, depending on how much you shoot.
Wow.
And do you own guns yourself?
Yes, I do.
And how much is a gun? That's a question.
It's a wide range. It's like how much is a shirt, right? Like,
Right.
What's your most expensive gun and what's your
Yeah.
most cheapest gun?
I mean, I've got guns that are like around $300-400.
Yeah.
And I have guns that are at $3,000-4,000.
Okay,
But
so that's the most.
They can go way higher than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, is the more expensive gun more fun for you?
No, actually.
Yeah, that's is there a
I think that's what
correlation?
that means. The more you pay, the more
Yeah,
fun
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
It makes a funny
No,
sound
no,
like,
no.
boy, yeah. Like,
No, it's more of like a joy for people. Guns are different things. One's a political statement. For some people, it's self-defense. For some people, it's a tool. For me, it's like it's a combination of some of those things, but it's like mechanical art. Like the way in which they function.
Ooh, okay. Yeah,
Right,
I
like
totally
it's,
feel
it's,
that.
It's like a watch or whatever. It's like mechanically, it's really cool, and when you pull a trigger, it makes a loud bang, and it's
Yeah.
like, what kid does not like that stuff?
Sure,
right?
sure.
Whatever, stop trying to make it sound cute. When I am studying this with your cars, pizza, gas, guns, I felt like you are a personified version of Fast and Furious.
Yes,
That's what
this-
I thought of when I saw this.
This is true. If we analyze Vin Diesel's, right? What's his name? Dom?
Dom,
You need pizza to be on there?
I think Dom eats pizza.
It's
Corona,
what I mean.
maybe.
It seems very bro-y, kind of, but also like this cool, like Vin Diesel studying you for his roles, basically.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Okay, moving on. Do you control your money or does money control you?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay. What does Joe spend his hard-earned tech money on?
Love that your header
Oh, I
font
actually
is
rent on there. 'Cause
7.
Did I give you?
No, I guess what
so
you're right.
small.
Oh, okay.
Okay, go
This
ahead.
is you have spent $18,349 on food in the last 3
And
years.
drink.
And drinks.
Whoa.
That's bars. That's a third. More
your spending.
over a third of the money that he spent for the
Yeah.
last 3.5
We
months.
see that a lot on this podcast. What do you have to say about that?
I own it. It's awesome.
He's quiet. That's an average.
You know why? It shows that
We're not attacking
the
you, bro. I'm
defense.
just trying to
On the
understand.
defense.
Okay, no, I'm trying to explain myself.
Okay.
I highly value experiences with my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a lot of that time, I'm actually treating my friends a lot of times.
Oh, okay.
He
Okay.
does. You do.
And at the end of the day, when you die, that's what you bring with you is your memories in theory. And that's why I'm very much okay with that amount of money spent on that. And I know that's what I spent almost all my money on going out.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
sharing those experiences with my friends.
That's an average, by the way, of almost $200 a day on food. Just food on food.
Good job
Let me
with the
tell you-
math, Steffi. Good
Let
job.
me tell you the analysis of the food right now, okay? You are half Chinese, half Vietnamese.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have gone to Chinese food one time, and that was hot pot. And you spent $900.
What about Panda Express? Did you not see Panda Express?
Yes, hold on.
That
let
shit
me
don't
get to
count.
it.
That shit don't count.
The only other Chinese food has been Panda Express. He
Wow.
went 9 times, which I'm very
Wow.
proud of. As an Asian American, I
Yeah.
fucking love.
I love Panda. I just
Panda
went for the
Express.
first time in like 12
Oh,
years. It was pretty good.
Fucking delicious.
Did you know they sell 100 million pounds of orange chicken every year?
100 million pounds? That's disgusting. I wish I
Crazy.
didn't know
How
that.
much is that? How much money are they making? That times fucking
I don't know what
whatever
their markup
orange
is.
chicken
It's
is.
crazy to make so much
Yeah.
money.
Okay. I just thought that was really interesting. I guessed, is it right? Your rent is around $3,200. It wasn't on.
34.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, this is interesting because like you're a big part of your life is going out and stuff, and then the rest of your stuff is like I guess rent and then travel
it's cars.
Yeah,
His
it's
cars.
like pretty.
He spent
it's like regular
$6,500.
shit.
Travel is about $3,800.
Well, it's also, you have to remember, I haven't been able to travel for a long time.
So normally that would be higher.
I
You're
love
trying-
that groceries is so low you cannot see the bar. You cannot see it.
Yeah.
We don't really. It could be negative. We don't know.
Your haircuts, usually Fumi likes to ask that question. You
yeah.
spend $70 on a haircut
60, 70. Yeah.
every
yeah.
2 months.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty.
I go like once a month. So
You go
yeah.
once a month. How much do you spend?
Like 60 or 70.
Oh,
with
wow.
tip.
So you get your haircut a lot less frequently
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
you do.
Well, because mine just I have like an Asian fro, so I have to go.
Oh,
I have to go
okay,
more
okay.
frequently.
All
I'm,
right.
I'm owning it. I'm cool with that.
All right. I just
This
thought
is
that
great
was
so far, Steffi.
fascinating. You don't shop that much.
I don't shop at all.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
clothes and shit. You're not into that?
Nah.
No.
Okay.
Okay. So I did an analysis of the type of food you eat, and you eat pizza so much you spent almost $1,400
Oh,
on pizza
God.
alone. If the average slice of pizza is $4, you ate 380 almost rounded up equivalents of it's 348 slices of pizza in
Oh
3.5
my God,
months.
dude.
You've either obsessed with pizza or you're holding the Ninja Turtles hostage. That's like 45 pizzas if each pizza pie was 8 slices. Mamma mia. That's a lot of pizza.
Wow.
This is
You're a
fascinating,
pizza guy?
actually.
The
You're a
fact-
pizza guy.
Domino's usually.
But do you see, it's mostly Italian pizza.
What's Japanese pizza?
But he does in Japan. He went to go get pizza when he was in Japan.
$60 at a pizza
It's
restaurant.
not Pizzeria Say. What's that one?
Savoy. In Japan?
No, there's another one
Oh,
that
Say.
you
Say.
say
Really good,
Pizza
really good.
Say.
Really good.
It's from Japan.
It's in LA.
No, it's from here, but
Oh.
those guys, from what I understand, went to Japan and learned how
Yeah.
to make pizza the way they make it there, and
What?
they're very good.
You're saying there's a pizzeria that's Japanese style in LA?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I gotta.
It's a Napolitana style, but they make it like the Japanese do, so it's like a sub. But yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at right. So like 1920. This makes sense, but like they have some rows where it's like $300, $400. What is that? Are you treating friends?
Yeah, it's not myself. So it's probably an Italian restaurant where
It could be. I don't fucking know you, bro.
I mean, you sound like it sounds fun. I imagine you like gaming or like shooting, and you always have a box of pizza with you.
It's a lot of pizza.
You're driving around
I'm
your
also
Porsche.
surprised because
There's
I feel
pizza.
like we are nearing the age where we can no longer eat cheese like that. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, he works out. He goes biking. Like, how many hours
But
of
it's not
biking
a
do you
fat
do?
thing. It's like
Oh, but see, you know my favorite pizza, this Japanese place, is marinara. There's no cheese on it.
oh, there's no cheese on
And
it.
there's no toppings. It's straight up tomatoes and just crust and olive oil.
Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's keep it Asian, lactose free. Okay, what's Joe's favorite type of cuisine? He likes his food just like he likes his women, Japanese. Fumi wants to thank you for supporting the Japanese
Thank you.
economy.
Thank you.
He has spent $6,500 on Japanese food in the last 3.5 months.
That sounds all right.
That is the majority of where your money goes. Then it's bars. You go to bars, you spend $4,500. I'm assuming you are there with friends. I know you like hosting. You love getting all your friends together, and that's makes you hella fun. The third is you like American food at $3,000. I was really surprised at how you eat a lot of really high-end food, but you also fucking love Jack in the Box. You love Pizza Hut. You love Panda Express.
Very high low.
What you don't like is groceries. You do
You
not
hate groceries. You hate Ralph's.
You hate Ralph's. Also, you hate. There is barely any Chinese food. That Chinese food, although it takes up 1,000, it says that you spent $1,000. That was one outing out of all the times you went to go eat
You
out.
spent 1,000. You dropped 1K.
He dropped one on Hot Pot. And then
Oh, dude, yeah. I know.
Vietnamese, by the way, which is half his mother. Like, it's not even on this list.
It's too far, man.
It's too
you
far.
eat no Vietnamese food.
There isn't any good Vietnamese food around here. You gotta go to like.
The motherland spanks you. They don't. They're not taking it back.
I gotta say, thank you for supporting my economy. I also think that Japanese food is really, really good, and so I get this, and I defend him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an award right now.
Okay.
You are the winner. There's no chicken dinner, obviously. For spending the most money ever on Cash Cuties.
Wow!
Congratulations! You spent more money at $47,537.19 in 3 months. The second person that award goes to is our OnlyFans girl, Kitty. She spent
Just like the OnlyFans girl.
$41,380. And then you got Fumi.
Third place.
No, you're not even third. I just put you on there just for reference. Yeah, he spends $15,000 and within the last year, so that's fine.
He's really spending 3 times more than me in a quarter. That's so fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, you are really fun.
He is 3 times more fun than me.
He's just really
the math works out for sure.
Honestly, Kitty also.
Yeah, really
She's
fun.
so fun.
Yeah. I'm like 30% fun for sure. Yeah.
And you know, if you own your own business, you can write off a lot of
This chart is
What are you
extremely
gonna do
insulting.
with this award?
Yeah,
are you
good
proud
job.
of yourself?
Actually, I'm kind of shocked.
He's gonna get some pizza, bro.
People come on here and they're so shocked by how much money they
It's
spend.
because he's the first guest we've had who's not like a fucking trying to be an actor person. You know what I mean? Like he has a
Yeah.
real job and he's a certain age.
No,
and
but I
so-
think that he's kind of shocked because of the amount of money he thought he didn't know he spent.
Did
this
you not know
much.
you were spending like
Most
this?
people don't know.
No.
This is a year of NYU, my friend.
You did 4 months or
I
3
did
months?
from January
From
till
January.
So
now.
that's
So 3 months.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
Dude, he's about to go on a cleanse. I swear. This happened to Dumb. This happens to people.
Yeah.
They change
We might
after
see him
our
at Trader Joe's next week when you're returning something.
I'm gonna break your pantry right now.
I need you to do a video at the end, like in a year, and be like, Steffi and Fumi changed my life. I am more financially stable. All right, so we have job proposition for you, Joe. I think you should recruit Cash Cuties for all your food outing needs.
Okay.
And why? Because obviously Fumi is Japanese, which you love, and I'm just cool, and we all love pizza, and we'll all have a fun time eating pizza with you. Thank you again. That's it. That's it.
Wow, that was fascinating. Actually,
Was it?
I didn't realize I spent that much money on only Japanese food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and let's keep it that way.
No, you need to spend more money on. I have to say, if I were to give you any advice, go spend more money on Vietnamese food.
I love Vietnamese food, man.
But I was thinking a lot of Vietnamese food in Orange County is cash only, so it's probably you can't even put it on here.
That and it's just far. It's just like getting down there. It's like all this stuff is like around
You know
here.
we have Vietnamese food here, right?
It's not good around here, though.
What you said with a southern accent, Vietnamese food.
Like being
Hey,
happy.
hey, Joe, you know we got some Vietnamese food.
Okay, there's one.
You don't gotta be so racist.
There's one
What
place
did
that
I
I really
accept
like.
together?
I really like in like Silver Lake called Bay U. It's really good.
Okay, I hope this
But-
wasn't too much for you.
No. It was really interesting.
What's your
Yeah.
take? So your
How do you
takeaways
feel?
that you
Yeah.
Well, there were definitely expenses in there that are outliers. I think when I think about my income versus outgo, like I'm okay with what I'm seeing, but I definitely could do better.
By the way, we're not here to be
Wait,
like we're not here to say you should spend less.
Okay.
We're just this is not.
No, we're saying
No,
we-
like I think no, that's what I'm thinking.
Dude,
I'm not
I
trying to
gave
defend
you an
myself.
award.
Yeah, dude, you're champion.
I
Right, so
think-
next time, if I ever come back, I need to spend 50.
Yeah. You need to take us out more. That's what I'm getting from all this.
Anyways,
oh my
yeah,
God, that was great.
so fun. You are so fun. You have such good stories all the time. This
Yeah.
is why I love you. You have so much like amazing information. You have just so much.
Yeah,
and
dude,
you have
thank
so
you.
much like you have so much every time I see you, you're in such a good mood. That's because you're like doing what you want. You are doing
His tummy's full of pizza. He's
Yeah.
always in a good
And
mood.
Japanese food.
and Japanese food, but he's also traveling. He's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you have a lot of hobbies. You're very well rounded.
That's what I'm realizing is like, I mean, I don't know you personally, but I believe, Steffi, when you spend money on the things you like and the things that bring you joy, like you said, like you enjoy taking your friends out, you sort of exude this happy energy. And a lot of people are miserable, but I think a lot of times they're not doing what they like or spending money on the right thing. So this is actually a very inspirational PowerPoint deck, if I may.
Oh,
If
thank
I
you.
may. Your lifestyle
You made me feel better.
inspired
Thank
me.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Anyways.
I'm definitely going to continue spending.
He's like Steffi is not a friend anymore.
You blocked me.
He switches me for you because you're Japanese.
Yeah, you see us at Trader Joe's together. We're like shop. We're like, we're making pizza tonight.
Hey, I'd be fucking pissed. All right.
All right.
Well,
Goddamn. Anyways,
thank you
for,
so much.
Yeah, thank you for doing this
This was super
podcast.
fun.
Yeah.
This was
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
We usually ask our guests if there's something you want to plug. I know you're not a plug figure, but if you want to plug your consulting firm, maybe people need your help.
No, I don't.
Maybe a charity you'd like to plug.
do you
Anything.
want people to come on? Do you want people to like actually contact you? Maybe to be like if they want to be headhunted. Like maybe
Oh,
they
yeah.
like is that a thing?
They could.
I'm sure you have some tech.
But there's actually one of my clients that I work with. Her name's Tracy. She runs a company called Block Party, and I think everyone should kind of pay attention to this company, what they're doing. And she's a very mission-driven company that essentially is you get controlling your social media experience, so you can block people that are harassing you.
Oh.
Yeah. So think about it as like
That's
Web
amazing.
1.0 was email.
Yeah.
So spam filters are pretty good. So Web 2, 3, 4.0, whatever you want to call it, is all social media platforms.
Yeah,
So she is building a company, and I'm helping her right now recruiting around building tools for people on social media to control their experiences, whether it's children or people that are getting, like for her, she was getting harassed and all that sort of stuff, like stalkers, like all those kinds of things, to be able to better control that experience for like mental health and all that sort of
That's
stuff.
amazing. That's BLOC.
Yeah, Block Party.
Okay, like the
Thanks.
band. Okay,
yeah,
cool, 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 cool.
blockpartyapp.com. So we're
okay.
hiring. So if there are jobs there that you're interested in,
Oh,
you
shit.
can reach out to us that way.
How do you reach? How can they reach you?
You can actually just apply right on the website.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
What's the
Apply
website?
away.
www.blockpartyapp.com.
Yes, and if you use promo
Okay.
code Cash Cuties, you get an interview guaranteed. Okay, that's it. Please follow us on all the socials at Cash Cuties Pod. You can also find me on all the socials at the FUMI Abe. That's CHEFUMIABE.
And you can find me on Instagram at Baked Goods, BAIKEDGUDS. Feel free to Venmo us any money outside of Patreon at, what is mine? Steffi is me. I forgot. I haven't been saying it.
And mine's the FUMI Abe. Don't forget about Patreon, the best website in the world, patreon.com/CashCutiesPod. Join the movement for bonus content. We just posted our first bonus episode on there. We answer some of your fan questions. So please check that out.
So fun.
I think that's it. Cuties, we'll see you guys next week. And until then, spend your money wisely.
Or don't.
Bye.